Hi guys, it's been a little while, but I'm back on the channel. Welcome for those that are new. I just really wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world. And since coming back from Ghana, I can honestly say I didn't expect to be this shocked. But the living conditions here, right now in the UK, they are completely wild. Energy bills are ridiculous, food prices are climbing like crazy, and rent is eating up people's entire paychecks. I mean, it feels like basic living is turning into a luxury now. And it's not just here. I'm seeing the same things being talked about in the US and Canada too. People everywhere are just struggling to afford what used to be called normal. It's like the cost of simply existing is just getting completely out of hand. Families are having to choose between heating or eating. Young people can't afford to even move out. And everyone's just looks like they're completely exhausted. So let's talk about it. What's actually going on and why does it feel like so many are just trying to survive instead of actually living? So I've pulled some videos together for you guys to watch with me. Watch them with me. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
So the most embarrassing thing just happened to me. I got paid on the 25th. It's now the 1st and I'm completely overdrawn. And we needed food shopping. So I've just been walking around Aldi with my phone calculator out, calculating how much everything cost just to feed my family because I only had £35. That was completely soul destroying and exhausting. And all I want to do now is just burst into tears. It really shouldn't be this hard to feed your family as a full-time working mum. We are a full-time two-parent working household and we are still barely scraping by. Why is it that working parents can be working full-time, doing our best, and we still don't have enough? We still don't have enough. And this is exactly why I am learning how to make money online. Because I just can't live like this anymore. Don't need extra money for holidays or luxuries. I just need extra money to live, to feed my family. So if you're in the same boat, please know you're not alone. I'm giving this Make Money Online a go and I'm sharing everything I learn as I go along because we all just deserve a better life than this.
It shouldn't be that hard to feed a family of, 3 or 4. It should be pretty straightforward. 2 working parents, working full time. That used to be all you needed to do to survive in the past, but it's just not the case anymore. Let's watch this next clip as well.
Everybody keeps saying it's going to get better. How is it going to get better? Our economy is so that I work a full-time job. I make $21 an hour working 40 hours a week. I have no extra expenses, no bills out of my living. I have one credit card that's max because I've lived off of it, but other than that, I don't have cable. I haven't had cable in 10 years. We have cell phones, but, that's required to live on. But other than that, nothing extra. On paper, my bills are $2,701. My income is $2,710. Do the math. $9 a month before I pay for food, gas, car repairs, any entertainment. There's no money for that. And my car is dying. It's paid for, so I don't have car payments now that I'm going to replace. And I don't know how to do that on $9 a month. $9 to feed myself, $9 to buy a car, $9 for insurance. Yeah. So at the end of the day, this is me because I worked 8.5 hours a day, knowing that it's not enough, that it won't be enough. Fuck you, Ontario.
I just can't believe that with all those payments, every penny that she earns actually goes towards her bills. She's left with $9, and that's $9 Canadian to basically do everything else that she needs to do. One of the most important things is to get around and, of course, to eat. And, that's something she can't even do. Even after paying all the bills and she's working full time. That's the place we're in today. And that's really, really heartbreaking to see. Here's a couple more clips here for young people, get a young person's perspective. Here's a lady in the US.
I am so tired of living my life in survival mode because despite having 2 college degrees and making close to $80,000 a year, I still cannot keep up with the cost of living. I still cannot afford all of my bills every month and have to live paycheck to paycheck. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I am sacrificing my mental health, my time, and my energy to take care of people in their most vulnerable moments, and a lot of the time they do not make it. At the very least, I should be able to pay my bills. And for anyone who's thinking, oh, well, you shouldn't have chose that job, somebody has to do it. And you know damn well, if your loved one was critically ill, you would want somebody to take care of them, right? Something has to give. I cannot keep doing this.
How can it be 80,000 USD a year and yet still can't keep up with all her bills? What is there left if you can't pay all your bills and you earn that much money and you still can't cope as a young person? What hope is there for others that are on lower salaries than that? Practically none at this stage. And it looks like there's no difference for our young gentlemen out there. So this is impacting both women and men, both young and old. Watch this next clip.
How are you going to cope with the cost of this living crisis?
The thing is, I don't even know where to begin. I'm 27, live with my mum because that's too much to handle, too much to think about. Cost of living, isn't it? I just think it's impossible to, as like a 20-year-old, in our 20s, to like move out and start that sort of life because it's too expensive. How do I move out? If I go and rent somewhere in London, then I'm just using so much money and wasting so much of what I've saved to rent. So my idea is that I'd love to buy somewhere, but that also feels impossible. So it feels like that in between, that impossible decision of how to like move on in life and have the things that our parents had and the generation above us had. It feels like we look at them and think you had it easy, and they say they didn't, but like, how are we meant to do that now? It feels impossible to like move out of that place.
He says it feels impossible to move out of his parents' house, and I can understand why he feels that, of course, like many that are with their parents. My kids are with me and we have a good life, yes, but it is really difficult to think about what future there might be for them to move out. Deposits they have to save. Once the deposit is saved for a mortgage, you then need to make sure that you've not only got a decent deposit, but your salary has to stack up in order for you to get that mortgage approved. Now, once you get that mortgage approved, which is not impossible, but it can be done, you've then got to keep up with all the payments. And now we're back in the cycle of where you see many of these clips I've shown you, people trying to survive through paying their mortgages and rent and still suffering by working full time and still not being able to provide for their families in its entirety. So that is really heartbreaking and sad to see, and especially sad to see that young people are being disheartened as well because they're not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And of course, we know food prices have all gone up everywhere. So let's watch this next clip as well.
What you are looking at here is $145 worth of groceries in Canada, 2025. There ain't much here, but this is a lot of money for what you're actually getting.
That's not just a lot of money, that's insane. Like, I can't believe that 145 US or Canadian dollars on that food there, which is barely anything. There's just a few chicken breast strips and a pineapple and some bread and one or two other things. I don't know how people are supposed to survive on that. And it's supposed to last you, what, a week, a month? Not looking good at all.
This is another reason we're leaving this country. We want some lamb mince to make a kebab and it's £7.50. Look at the pack. The size of my hand. Getting absolutely ripped off in this country.
£7.50.
And I've had enough. Silly.
£7.50 for a little bit of mince, a little bit of minced lamb. That sounds like it's severely overpriced. That's obviously the UK. That gentleman there's just had enough. It looks like he's relocating. He doesn't want to be back here anymore. I can understand now. People want to move out. They want to have a better life. They want peace. They want to live comfortably. They're not asking for the world. They're just looking for a better place to be where they can actually live life as opposed to just surviving at home. Everyone's story is different, but the struggle is really bad. That's something so many people are sharing right now. It's tough out there, and it's okay to admit that. You're not imagining it, and you're definitely not alone. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, the best thing to do is just to try and start small. Just do little things like track your spending. But I think most importantly, try to learn new skills. Go out there and learn some new skills, especially online, because that's the way things are moving, and it gives you an opportunity to make extra money on the side and build on something new for the future. So sometimes just talking to someone who gets it makes a big difference and can really help. But if you're in a more stable situation and you're in a much better place, then maybe just checking in on someone who isn't. A quick message or just share a meal or anything, just to make sure that they're okay. We need each other right now, and so it's best to try and do all we can to help one another where we can. Anyway guys, if this resonates with you, hit the like button below, subscribe for more, and drop a comment in the notes below just to share your story or your tips or even just how you're holding up. Let's keep this conversation going. So until next time, take care and speak to you soon.